Hello and welcome to Karen's Creative Cards on YouTube. I am happy you are joining me as I share some cards I made revisiting embossing folders and using a beautiful new set of dies from Quietfire Design and Elizabeth Crafts. My embossing folders are often neglected as I am admittedly die cut crazy, but today I am sharing some cards where I combine embossing folders and gorgeous dies for some easy but lovely Christmas cards. Here is the beautiful die set by Suzanne Cannon for Elizabeth Crafts that I used in this Love, Joy, and Peace Easy Embossed Holiday Cards. On this card, I used a faux inlaid technique that is much easier than actually inlaying the die cut into the card. To do that, I would have had to save all the pieces inside these letters and inside here, and then try to glue them back in. Instead, I cut the ornament and the love out of navy. I glued them down on a white card front and then ran the whole thing through my machine with an older Cuttlebug embossing folder. On the inside, I used a couple more additional die cuts, the Joy from the same set of Quietfire designs and Wishing You from Memory Box. On my second card, I embossed the whole card with an embossing folder from Doris. Now maybe I should hold these up and I hope you can see the embossing on there. I love to put the whole card through so that way on the inside I also get the embossing. And as long as I can sign it and write a message, I like to do it that way. I die cut the ornament out of red mirror card from Tonic Studios and hung it on a pine branch from Tim Holtz for Sizzix. I shadowed the Joy with dark green and red mirror card. And since I had a perfectly good round red mirror piece from cutting out the ornament, I inlaid that in a green ornament and added another piece from the same die set. I normally use reds, greens, a little gold or silver, and some blue if there are snowflakes on my Christmas cards. But I was inspired by a card I saw in a magazine to try stepping outside of my box for this card, and I love how it turned out. Brown and aqua on a Christmas card? Why not? This is my favorite of these three cards, and I'm going to show you step by step how I made it. Here are the supplies I used. Once again, of course, I'm using the Love, Joy, Peace ornament set from Elizabeth Crafts, designed by Suzanne Cannon for Quietfire Designs. I'm using Nuvo Embellishment Mousse from Tonic Studios, and the color that I'm using is the Burnished Bronze. I'm using a couple embossing folders. These are older ones. This one's from Sizzix and this one is from Cuttlebug. I'm using a sponge on a stick for the Nuvo embossing embellishment mousse. I'm using some sea glass Mary Sparkle paper from the Paper Cut. And I'm using some amber watercolor deco foil and some deco foil toner sheets. The first steps to do is to cut out a white top folding 11 by 4 1/4 card base and fold it in half. Then we're cutting out a dark brown card front 4 by 5 1/4. I have embossed this in that embossing folder that just has a border, and I am going to sponge on some Nuvo Embellishment Mousse. Once this is open, it is suggested that you, when you put it away, that you cover it with some saran wrap or some sticky type of cling wrap so that it stays moist. If it's not moist, you can add a little bit of distilled water or pure water and mix it up. But this has worked very well for me. So that is how I seal it. And then it stays like kind of like a butter consistency. I'm putting a little on my sponge, and I'm just going to add it to the card in a circular motion all around the edge. If a little gets in the center, I'm not going to get too worried about it. It's hard to get this exactly where you want it. But can you see, I'll show it to you closer, but it's just adding a beautiful kind of bronze look to that embossing. And since I got a little in the center, I think I'll just go ahead and just kind of continue that all the way around, so it looks like I did it deliberately. Just add a touch of it on the center of the oval to accent that. Now this mousse dries very, very quickly. But we're going to set it aside for just a few minutes. But as you can see, that added like a copper finish to the embossing, making it stand out and look very nice. And put this gun. On the inside of the card, I am going to share a way to emboss gorgeous deco foil. Deco foil can be attached to a piece of toner sheet and then die cut or embossed or used any way you wish on your project. I cut a piece of amber watercolor, which is one of my favorite colors of deco foil by Thermoweb, and I'm laying it over a piece of toner sheet, and I'm going to run it through a hot laminator. While that is going through, I'm going to show you how to make the lovely ornament. I die cut the ornament out of a thick white cardstock. My favorite is Michael's Recollection 110-pound cardstock, over a piece of the Sea Glass Mary Sparkle with the ornament die from this set. The white cardstock will cut out completely, but the Mary card will not. When you layer those two, it's a little too thick, and that's exactly what I wanted. I didn't want all the pieces in the Mary card to fall out, but yet I wanted the shape, and what I did was, just to make sure that those pieces don't fall out, I took some pieces of regular tape, and I taped them all in. So we have this as a background, and now we're going to simply glue the ornament onto that beautiful sparkle background. When I have a very delicate die, such as this one is, I am loving my fine line bottle and the glue that goes in there, and I have links to both of them in the description. In fact, the links to all the products that I've used are in the description. So if you ever want to know what it is I've used, just click the See More in the description and you'll see all of the products in there. So you line it up and you push to to attach. And then I've cut the piece from that ornament set out of a dark brown, and I'm going to attach that in the center of the ornament. I don't have room on my desk here. I have a small desk that I work on to show you my laminator or my die cut machine. But after I've attached this foil to the toner piece, which I cut 4 by 4 by the way, we're going to emboss that in an embossing folder. That has a message, and I'm going to do that quickly. And we have a foiled message: Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Peace and Joy. And that will be attached on the inside of our card. Our card front will be attached to the front of the card. When I'm putting on a card front and it's supposed to be exactly that size, if it doesn't match up perfectly, I make sure that I can just cut the bottom or the side off, not the top, where obviously you can't cut that off because then your card would fall apart. But that isn't a problem to simply trim along the edges so that the white doesn't show. And then we attach our ornament. And our card is done. I love how this card turned out, using different colors, embossing folders, and a beautiful die set from Quietfire Design and Elizabeth Crafts. I hope you do too, and consider giving this video a thumbs up, sharing it on social media, leaving a comment, and becoming a subscriber if you're not already one. Thanks for helping me share the joy of creativity.